Bitcoin and altcoins are breaking into uncharted territory as the market rallies on the new stimulus checks in the USA. Guys, it seems like after a 3-week correction, we are finally set for the next leg of the bull market of crypto 2021. And today, we're going to talk about why this leg is different and why you should have a different portfolio. We're going to show you our trading strategy, what we're holding, what we're dumping, and we're going to look at one altcoin that is finally coming into our price target. I'm Crypto Manra, and I come to you every single day at 10 a.m. EST, and I bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. And together, we are building the most profitable crypto community in the world. If you've just joined us for the first time, well, welcome to Crypto Banter. You're going to have a wild ride here. If you want to know when we're coming online, smash that like, smash that subscribe, because then you're going to know when we are online. And then, if you have been here for a while, you'll know that we are giving away Coti. Yes, guys, it's very simple. All you need to do is you need to smash the like, smash the subscribe, share the video, and then comment and tell us that you've done that. And today we're going to give away 2,500 Coti tokens to people in the community, to people watching the show. So if you want to do that, remember, all you need to do is just share the video and tell us. And we may even give you, get this, a limited edition Fred NFT. Yeah, guys, this is a true story. We're giving away limited edition Fred NFTs to members of our community. We're getting them minted at the moment. And who knows, you could own your first NFT. And it could be an NFT of Fred. Now, speaking of NFTs, remember that Beeple artwork, that one that was going on sale for could be an NFT. Remember that Beeple artwork, the one that was on auction? Well, the bid right now is on $8.25 million. And you'll remember that the first bid was on our show for $1 million. I guess Hervé isn't getting that artwork. And I think it's time to get on with the show. But first, let's have a moment's silence. Yeah, let's have a moment's silence for Wall Street. Because Wall Street are getting annihilated. And that's according to the data. Goldman Sachs published a report that shows that the best performing asset class of this year so far is, of course, none other than, you guessed it, Bitcoin. Now, the surprising thing here is not that Bitcoin is the best performing asset class. The surprising thing is that Goldman Sachs only added Bitcoin to this report in January. Because before January, what they said is Bitcoin is not an asset class. Funny that as soon as they added it, Bitcoin goes to the number 1 spot. Guess what the number 2 in the best performing asset classes is? It's energy. No surprise, because, with COVID, all the energy stocks went down. And now that everything's returning back to normal, well, the energy stocks are going back up. Fred, get Peter Schiff on the line. We need to tell Peter Schiff that the worst performing asset in 2021 so far, the worst performing asset in 2021 so far is none other than gold. I'm not really surprised, guys. I told you. I think that Bitcoin is disrupting gold. And I think that Bitcoin is disrupting gold much quicker than we think. As quickly as Facebook disrupted MySpace. When something comes that is 10 times better than the incumbent, the disruption happens super fast. And that's exactly what's happening with gold and Bitcoin. In fact, we saw yesterday that the stock markets rallied and every asset rallied, but the one asset that didn't rally was gold. And the reason for that is, I think, because investors are moving out of traditional assets, out of gold, and they're moving straight into Bitcoin. Sorry about the lights. We are in Africa, and there are scheduled power cuts. So here we are. Also, have you ever heard of anybody going all into Bitcoin like Michael Saylor? Did you see the tweet that he posted? He said, I sold an old TV and a sofa and purchased an additional 0.16 Bitcoin at 5,500 in cash at an average price of 53,765. I now hodl 90,531 Bitcoins and nothing else. That's Michael Saylor, and that dude's all in. If you didn't see it, don't worry, you're not going to see it. That's a tweet that Fred made up. But on a serious note, have you ever heard of a company going all into gold? The answer is probably no. And the reason for that is that whereas gold is a store of value, gold is not a practical store of value. because it has to be stored with custodians. It can't be divided. It can't be sent very easily. So it's a store of value, no doubt about that, because it's scarce. But it's not a very practical store of value. And now we have a disruptor, which is a very practical store of value. And so companies are FOMOing into Bitcoin and they're going all in. And that's exactly what one Norwegian company's done. In fact, we heard a Norwegian company announce that they are going all in on Bitcoin. The entire 100% of their treasury is going into Bitcoin. They're buying $58 million worth of Bitcoin. And what I think is happening now is we're getting this like corporate FOMO of companies who are FOMOing into Bitcoin because they realize just how badly the US dollar is being devalued. Speaking of FOMO, do you think that the SEC is going to get FOMO at some stage? Because Canada is launching another Bitcoin ETF. This is not the first ETF. This is not the second ETF. And in fact, if you remember, in Canada, the first ETF got something like $500 million worth of investment in the first week. That's unheard of for an ETF. And then there was a second ETF launched, and now we've got our third ETF. And this third ETF is actually from Galaxy Digital. We all know Mike Novogratz and Galaxy Digital. Well, they are launching an ETF in Canada, and that is debuting today. So it looks like it's 3-0 to Canada. When will the SEC change its tune and actually let these investors have an ETF and not having to pay the premium? Remember, we spoke about that grayscale premium and how these unaccredited investors, because there was no ETF, up until now paid this huge premium. So I really hope the ETF get a wake up and actually do it. And now with Gary Gensler, I think that may actually happen. And then remember, today we're going to talk about our altcoin calls. We're going to tell you how to restructure your portfolio, and we're going to take a deep dive into one altcoin that is in our portfolio, been there for a while, and I think it's finally going to move towards its target. And that, of course, is Coti. And today we've got Shahaf by Geffen, and we are giving away some Coti. In fact, let's stop the show for a little bit, and let's actually give away some Coti. So we've got Suru. I can't even pronounce this name, but I'm going to display it on the screen. You win yourself 100 Coti. And Dika, you also win yourself 100 Coti. But remember, you can only win the Coti if you like and if you subscribe and if you have shared this video. We'll have a look at that. And if you've done it, then you can win Coti. Guys, we're going to be giving away 2,500 Coti on the show today. So smash that like, smash that subscribe. Let's break the algorithm. Let's share altcoin calls. We've got amazing altcoin calls for you today. Big, solid altcoin calls. And those are the ones that we're going to be reviewing today and giving you a price target. And then we may have one Korean Jew with his own altcoins. I've known Jake for a while, and I wonder if he's going to come on and give us any new altcoins that we haven't seen before. So, very, very, very big show. But let's talk about the big story in the news. And that, of course, is the next leg of the crypto bull market. So if you remember, we said to you that the bull market comes in stages, like 2017. If you look at 2017, it wasn't a straight line up. And what you can see is that there were multiple stages of this bull run. And each stage had about a 30% correction. That's the bad news. The good news is that after the 30% correction, the stocks or the Bitcoin rallied super hard. And that may be the good news, because we may be entering the next leg of the Bitcoin bull run. How do we know? Well, all markets started to rally last night, and that was on the back of the US stimulus checks. And that one chart that I've been warning you guys about, which is the 10-year US Treasury yield chart. Fred, show the guys what happened to the 10-year Treasury yield chart. It crashed. It didn't crash, it corrected. And so what we're seeing is that the market is going back into stocks and trading out of bonds. And now that this is happening, it could mean that we're in the next leg up. We've been in this this little correction for about 17 days. And if we look at historical corrections in bull markets, well, the first one or the second one in 2017 was a 40% correction. The third one in 2017 was a 5-day correction. And that's what we said to you last time. As you get closer to the top, the length of the markets becomes shorter. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. And to do that, I've got none other than my friend Tonvays, coming to us all the way from, I think he's in Dubai right now. Tone.
Hey, Rand, I
Welcome.
am in Dubai. Good call on that. Are you guys, my audio coming in good? We're all set?
Your audio is coming in amazing, amazing, amazing. Welcome to Crypto Banter, my friend.
Excellent. Thanks, man. I think I was on like your very first show, or was that a different show that you're doing?
No. You were indeed. You were part of our first show that we did. You did some amazing charting for us. Tone, the reason why I wanted to get you on is because I know when normally people are bullish, Tonvays is bearish, and when people are bearish, Tonvays is bullish. So, in one word, is Tonvays today, right now, bullish or bearish?
Very bullish.
Wow. Okay, tell me more. Why are you so bullish?
Well, I've been bullish since the day I won that bet against you when Bitcoin crashed down to $4,000. I still want my stake, by the way. And I've been bullish ever since that day, since all the markets crashed in COVID. The Bitcoin market crashed in COVID down to just under $4,000. I became a bull that day, and I remained a bull for about 90% of the time since then. There's occasional times where I call for localized tops, but right now is just not one of those times. I guess I can go ahead and go straight to screen share for you.
Yeah, share the screen with us. Tell us what's happening. Tone, have you been watching the 10-year Treasury yield return? Because that, for me, is a big telltale sign about what's happening, right?
I have been watching a little bit, but to me, that is actually borderline meaningless. Not completely meaningless, but generally meaningless. I don't understand why people put so much emphasis on the 10-year Treasury. I also said on my channel recently that I am expecting the interest rates to reverse and start to go down, and I'm expecting the bond prices to go up. Also, before we get to Bitcoin, for the last couple of days, I've been saying that gold is going to turn around today. I've been saying it for the last 3 days. You can see a little green arrow right here on this morning's show, the show that I did about 7 hours ago or 8 hours ago, something like that. I literally said I would buy gold right here at this green line at $1,686, and gold is up 2% today. And I think gold is about to turn its fortune and start to rise. So if the bonds are turning around and gold is turning around, the big question is, what about Bitcoin? Well, my target for Bitcoin for the last several weeks has been in the mid 70,000 range. My initial target for...
Okay, wow, okay,
Yes.
70,000. This is a short-term
Yes.
target.
That is a short-term target over the next few months. So either this month or next month. So sometime before the end of April, I think Bitcoin will cross $70,000, and then it will top, and then it will have a more sustained drop of about 40 to 50% before rallying one more time in 2022 into 2023, where my target is somewhere between 150 and $250,000 per Bitcoin in this bull market cycle. So I envision a bull market cycle similar to what happened to Bitcoin in 2013, just not in magnitude. In 2013, we went and made a bubble. We then corrected for about 70, 80% over the next 3 to 4 months. And then we did another bubble where we topped out at 1,300 or 1,200 or something like that. I envision a similar chart pattern, just not similar in magnitude. I can see Bitcoin breaking 100,000 easy sometime next year. I think breaking 100,000 this year is unlikely. I am very bullish, but not as bullish as others. On a daily chart, I have been saying that once Bitcoin gets above 50,000 on a daily scale, it will imminently challenge the all-time high of 58,000, which I think will get challenged either this week or next week. I am pretty bullish on Bitcoin. I have been bullish on Bitcoin. The best time to buy Bitcoin in this bull run has been after consolidations or little pullbacks. I was incredibly bullish on Bitcoin when we broke 20,000. I pretty much went all in at that point. And then again, I was very bullish on Bitcoin as we broke above the swing high in February. I thought we would top in the $60,000 range for the big pullback, but because we had a decent correction 2 weeks ago, I've now upped my target into the 70s before a more sustained pullback. I'm going to leave it there. So go ahead if you got any questions for me.
Tone, aren't you worried about the US market crashing? Aren't you worried about the US market correcting? If the US market corrects, you know what happens. Then Bitcoin goes with it because Bitcoin is still seen as a risk-on asset, right?
I am not worried about the U.S. market correcting, as you can see. And I remember, I am also expecting the interest rate to drop at this point. I'm not expecting the interest rate to keep rising. I am very bullish the stock market right now. I did not even realize that today's futures market is up so much in the S&P 500. I know the tech sector is struggling a little bit. Here's the NASDAQ. But I am bullish the S&P 500, and not even because of all the money printing. I have very contrarian views, besides the fact that I don't think interest rates matter all that much. Does anyone really give, I don't know if you curse on this channel or not, but does anyone really care if the interest rate is 0.5% or 2%? Does your life change if the interest rate in your life is greater by 1.5%? And the answer is absolutely not. The interest rate between 0.5% and 2% is really almost meaningless. Even for the gigantic national debt, it still doesn't make that much of a difference. I never cared about America's national debt. We don't owe that. We're never going to pay that back. I care about unfunded liabilities. Go on.
Tone, but you say you don't care about the interest rate, but if the bond rate or the 10-year treasury yield rate goes above 2.5%, it goes above the dividend yield of the S&P 500, which means that investors who are looking for dividends would rather be in long treasuries than be in stocks because it's safer.
Sure, then all of those investors will start buying U.S. government debt, which would solve the government's problem of who the hell is buying the government debt. I mean, this is how the free market works. When bond rates go up, something else goes down. When people sell, no one wants to own government debt right now. Government debt right now is freaking toxic because no one trusts the government after the thing. I don't want to get too political, but let's just say I wasn't happy with the election result. No one trusts the government. They're printing a bunch of money. They're destroying small businesses. No one wants to hold government debt. So when you are scared to hold government debt, you will buy other assets that you feel are safer. What are those assets? Stocks, gold, and Bitcoin. Gold hasn't done very well. Bitcoin is doing really well. I think gold's about to turn around, but stocks are a way safer asset than bonds. But if no one is buying bonds, the interest rate on bonds goes up, and now bonds become more attractive to buy, and some people will sell some stocks and they'll buy bonds. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is doing great. Now, one more thing I want to mention real quick is I understand that the government is printing a lot of money, but people don't consider how much money the government destroyed by destroying the economy with the COVID lockdowns. So if the government has destroyed $10 trillion worth of capital in, say, the United States, and then the United States prints $3 trillion, they didn't even cover how much they destroyed.
All right, Tone, let's leave it there. Enjoy Dubai, my friend, and hopefully we can catch up and I can repay the bet that I lost and we can have a great steak. In fact, I know in Dubai you've got the Nusret restaurant. I would love to take you there. Hopefully when we can start traveling and I'll be there.
All right, sounds good, man. Talk to you later.
Thank you, my friend. All righty. That is, of course, Tonvays, and he's usually always the contrarian, so it kind of worries me that him and I both think that Bitcoin is going to carry on going up. And speaking of going up, well, some of our altcoins, guys, I don't know if you've watched this, but some of our altcoins have been mooning. Let's look at Luna. Guys, have you seen what's going on with Luna? We called Luna at, I think it was about 50 cents, and today it is at 11 bucks. Guys, have you seen what's going on? It's crazy what's going on with Luna. And I don't think it's the end for Luna, because what I said to you was that you've got to be buying things that get the network effect, the winners. And the winner for me in the payment space is Luna. And today, if I look at Luna, let me just quickly have a look here. The market cap of Luna is $4.5 billion. My price target for Luna is about $8 billion. So it means that there's still probably another $9 left in Luna. So, I mean, great upside left in Luna. I want to actually share my screen with you guys because I want to talk about some of our other altcoins. Let us call up the screen. Naturally, my chart is on Coti. So let's actually look at Luna. Luna, remember, is the Korean or the project out of Korea, trading at $11.58. My price target for Luna is $20. If the market continues, we can expect this to go to $20. And you know why? Because we're seeing a massive shift at the moment. If we look at the top 10 coins as they were 6 months ago, and we look at the top 10 or 20 coins now on CoinGecko, we can see that the winners are rising to the top and the ones that aren't getting adoption and network effect are moving out. So XRP moving down, Litecoin moving down, Bitcoin Cash moving down. Who's moving up? Ethereum, massive network effects. Binance Chain, massive network effects. Cardano, massive network effects. And so what you can see is that we're seeing a fundamental shift. You've got to adjust your portfolio to trade this fundamental shift. And the formula here is to identify winners, nodes, or networks that are getting the network effect, which means that they're getting projects building on them, which means that they're getting real world adoption, which means that you're seeing adoption by the community. Those ones that are getting the network effect are the ones that are going to go into the top 10 and the top 20. And that's why you can see Luna came from nowhere and is now in one of the top 20 spots. Another one that I want to show you that I think is completely undervalued is Elrond. Elrond is currently at a price of $148. The total market cap is $2.5 billion. Who is Elrond competing with out there? What are the other smart contract blockchains that are getting adoption out there? Well, you got Ethereum. Ethereum's got a market cap of $209 billion. You got Binance Chain, which has $43 billion. You have Cardano, which has $37 billion. And you got Polkadot, which is on $35 billion. Elrond, which has a smart contract blockchain, which is decentralized and is working super fast and has a vibrant community and is getting the network effect, is trading at $2.5 billion. If you believe this bull run is going to last, you need to move your portfolio. You need to trade out of the bad ones and put them into things that are getting network effect like Elrond. Compare it to its peers. Let me show you another one that I keep calling on the show, but I have to keep calling this one. Let's look at Arweave. File storage protocol, getting huge real world adoption. Their technology is incredible. They're getting the network effect. Lots and lots of projects building on this token. But they're not about the hype. These guys are about building. Market cap, $610 million. It's tiny. Let's look at its nearest competitor, which is Filecoin, which arguably has much less adoption, which is not as good as it in technology. Market cap, $2.4 billion. My price target for Arweave is 3 times what it's trading at today. $39, $40. That's my price target in this next bull run. Another one of these alts that I think is absolutely undervalued is this gem over here, Coti. Here you've got a project with real world adoption, with a proven team that has delivered time and time again, has built Coti, has built the payment network, has done many other things, is getting the network effect, and has a market cap of $258 million. When I look at the coin market cap ratings, let's go all the way down to Coti. Let's go all the way down to $258 million market cap. Wow, there's a lot of tokens. Let's look at the tokens that are above Coti and say, do these tokens actually have the same network effect as Coti? Let's go down, let's have a look. So Coti is today, let's scroll all the way down and have a look. Coti is today here in the number 150th spot. Look at these tokens that are above Coti. Civic, Fetch.ai, Helium. Do these guys have the same adoption as Coti? Do they have the same track record as Coti? The answer is no. And that's why, for me, there's still a lot of value in Coti. And even though Coti has had a run, and yes, it has had a run from 0.5 cent where we called it, or 1 cent where we called it, or 2 cents, depending on when you joined our show. Even at today's price of 40 cents, at a market cap of $250 million, I think that Coti is completely underappreciated by the market. And so what I decided to do today is to bring in Shahaf Geffen. Shahaf is the founder and CEO of Coti. Shahaf, we want to get a deep dive into Coti because it doesn't make sense to me that this token is not appreciated by the market. But before we do that, we got to give away some Coti tokens. So let's start this off with Coti tokens. Jennifer Stam, you've got yourself 100 Coti tokens. If you have liked and shared this video and subscribed. And let's have another one. Let's look for another one. Fred, who should we choose? Come on, call whatever Fred says, that's what goes. Come on, Freddie. All right, Zen Garcia, long-time subscriber, liked and shared. Big Coti fan. You got yourself 100 Coti. Shahaf, welcome to Crypto Banter.
Hey, Ram. Pleasure being here again.
What do you think of my analysis? Isn't giving Coti what Coti deserves?
We're getting there for sure, but yeah, I think we still have a lot of work to do, but people start to realize what we're building, and the building blocks are coming together. We're heading towards exciting weeks ahead of us. It all mounts to one big story of what we have built and the adoption we're getting, and being recognized by the big players in the space, and it's super exciting for us.
All right, so let's actually go back to the beginning. Let's build our way up from what is Coti all the way to the partnerships and all the amazing news that you're going to drop here today. So Coti was founded in the 2017 bull run, right?
That's true.
And when you founded it, what was the reason that you created Coti? What was the gap in the market?
Well, the gap in the market was that there was no infrastructure or protocol that was absolutely great in solving payments and can compete with payments. Bitcoin is a great store of value. It is decentralized computing, but nothing was good for payments. And we quickly realized that we need to build our own infrastructure for that. So we've built it over high throughput DAG. We even created our own consensus mechanism. And we learned that when it comes to payments, you need to build the full ecosystem, a full solution, not just infrastructure and hope that someone will adopt it someday. So we've built full stack. And yes, here you can see our cluster. Essentially, we're a blockchain without blocks. We are a DAG. That gives us very high throughput. We're talking more than 10,000 TPS right now, low transaction costs.
Shahaf, let's just slow down for 1 sec. For our viewers who are watching this, we spoke about a cyclic graph, directed a cyclic graph yesterday in Phantom. And Coti is, again, it's the same type of technology. Theoretically, and a cyclic graph is actually not a blockchain. And that's because it doesn't run linearly in a line. How it runs is it looks at nodes, like if you look at this cluster over here, and it adds transactions on almost like a random basis. I think that's the best way to say it. And so the blockchain on an acyclic graph actually looks something like this, where the transactions they form a cluster like this. Okay, so you did this because you needed speed and you needed cheap transactions, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Because payments need to have...
Payments need scale, and if you want to deal with the future challenges of tomorrow, like IoT payments or microtransactions, or essentially if you just want to compete with PayPal, you need low transaction costs, and that gives you exactly that. So we set course and build it like that. We are mainnet live since 2019, and over that DAG, I mean, one of the things that we needed to build was a new type of consensus mechanisms, because DAGs that were out there back then had a flaw there. They needed either coordinators or any other forms of coordination. And we've created the trust chain with the proof of trust consensus built by Dr. Alwani and his team. It's very deep. Our white paper is like 100 pages, But we did that, and that works brilliantly. Since then, we've since approved, hundreds of millions of transactions at a very high speed and low cost.
For our viewers, I'm going to dumb it down a little bit, and let's say that Coti has this amazing verification mechanism where when you're making a transaction, they check the trust score of your wallet to see what kind of player you are, whether you're a reliable player or not a reliable player. And using that, they can approve transactions pretty quickly because they know how trustworthy the players in the transaction are. That's the dumbed down version. It's a very complicated white paper, but I guess that's all you need to know. All right, so you launched this amazing piece of technology. Does it actually work, and are people actually using it?
Oh yeah, it's been massively adopted because as I've mentioned, we built it as a full stack. So we have our infrastructure. On top of that, we have a services and liquidity layers. That includes the Viper wallet that became super popular, like more than Viper wallets every day. We've created Coti X, which is our own liquidity pool, fiat on and off ramp. So enterprises want to have this full stack solution. So this is what we've built. And on top of that, apps and business solutions like payment gateways, like ADApay, or My First Wallet, and so on. And we've covered everything with a positive regulatory approach and licenses. So this can be shipped as a ready-made product. And I guess this is why we've got the adoption that we have.
Okay, so people are using it. The type of merchants you've mentioned to me in the past are people like online gaming companies and stuff like that. And if I remember correctly, Coti today is processing around $20 million a month worth of transactions.
That is true, and that grows every month. And the magic behind it is that the node operators in our network, including the crypto node, are part of this transaction cycle, and they collect the fees. So the amazing cycle and positive feedback loop that we have is that new merchants come in, they pay fees. That fees means more demand for the Coti coin that powers the system. These fees can go to the node operators, and it means that we can grow our staking pool, and that means more people are lining in, and that reduces the supply furthermore. So we have this balance of new organic demand on one hand and decreased supply on the other hand, and that seems to be working quite nicely.
Tell me more about this. So you guys showed us this over here. I want you to have a look. That is ADApay, Cardano Pay, essentially. And I know that you guys are moving quite close to Cardano. What are we actually watching here?
What you're watching is the first version. We've been one of the first company to develop for ADA. We were chosen by the foundation and created this out of thin air to begin with. And this can be used to if you want to pay with ADA, you can use our system, and this is the only system that is used now. The new thing that comes to light right now with Cardano is ADApay on Shelly Mainnet, and this is big. Again, we'll be one of the first, if not the first, to develop a solution or a dApp on top of their mainnet. This is not the last or only thing that we're going to do with Cardano. I'll give you that much as a hint, but we are moving closer to their team and looking at other things as well.
What I don't understand is if I'm using ADApay, I'm using my Cardano to pay. Does that mean that I pay the fees using Cardano or that I pay the fees using Coti? Because I understand that I can use my ADApay, but what benefit is that to Coti token holders?
Oh, that's actually a very good question. So one of the things that we've realized is that, yes, of course, we can do a fiat payments faster, better, cheaper than the solutions out there. But what if someone wants to take Bitcoin or ADA or Ethereum or stablecoin? What can we improve there? And what we are doing is essentially putting a gateway there, and we're posting liquidity of Bitcoin, ADA, whatnot on both ends. So when the transaction actually confirms, all of that is done on Cotis infrastructure, which is again faster, cheaper to run, and so on. But the merchant or the peer can actually settle in the currency of choice. So they can take ADA or other 35 fiat currencies, And this brings together the vision that we have on a universal payment system, where a user on one hand can pay with whatever currency he wishes, fiat or crypto. The merchant can settle again on any other currency that he wishes, and this whole thing will be fast, cheap, inclusive, and this is what we're aiming with our infrastructure that we built and the licenses that we are acquiring, and we're getting there. $20 million a month. I'm not sure, and I'll say that with caution, that a lot of crypto companies out there are actually processing that on top of their protocol every month.
Not at all. Not real world adoption. That I can tell you. Maybe lots of trading, but certainly not real world adoption. Shahaf, you launched a debit card. And I remember when you came here and we spoke about the debit card, the unique thing for me about the debit card is that it was a debit card, but in the back end was actually a very fancy bank account. So it was almost like the debit card was a front end for what is actually a bank account, which allows you to pay with any currency that you're holding in this account. How's the rollout of that going?
Well, it is going. Visa is not as fast as anyone can wish, but it's every week we make progress. Where it stands right now is that we've been selected as an exclusive design partner, which is amazing for us. We're working closely with Simplex on that. We're doing a lot of things with Simplex, but that's one of them. So we'll be the first to get the cards. A lot of people apply right now. We sort through that. Next thing is probably the design of the card. I'm going to let the community have its say on how they want the Coti Pay cards to look. But we'll roll that out as soon as possible with the bank accounts as promised. And again, this completes our universal payment system idea.
All righty, I'm going to give away some more Coti, and then I've got a last question for you. All right, I'm not going to choose the Coti. We've got to ask Fred. Fred, pick anyone you want, and let's give them 100 Coti. But the deal is they must have liked the video, they must have subscribed to the channel, and they must have shared the video, and they must have commented. So who are we giving 100 Coti to now? Let's go, let's go, let's go. And remember, if you are watching this after the live stream, we will be giving away Coti to people in the comments. So this is not over after the live stream. All right, Fred, pick a winner, my man. Fred's kind of undecisive.
He's looking for his friends.
He's looking for his friends. Yeah, okay, we got Pim C. Pim C, you got yourself 100 Coti, and we are going to carry on doing a whole lot of other ones. Pim C, well done, well done, well done. All right, Shahaf, I want news nuggets. I want things that are coming up that nobody else knows. This is, we're Crypto Banter. We can't keep giving the market things that they know. This is the channel that they come to because they want like the inside scoop, the trading information. I can see this is making you nervous, but I need some insight, man.
Yeah.
So what's coming?
Against my nature. Well, we did mention the bank accounts and the debit cards. People know that, and I've hinted towards. I told you about ADApay, and I've hinted towards other things coming with fabulous team in the Cardano Foundation and IOHK. We are growing the staking program in April by 1 million.
We know that.
Yep.
We also know GOVI is flying. I mean, I saw GOVI this morning. And
GOVI is flying, and yeah, it is, and I'll discuss that in a minute. Looks like the iOS app for Coti Viper on the phone will be faster than expected, and we are in the brink of finalizing.
Give me a big announcement. Tell me what's happening on Cardano.
I can't tell you that. I can't.
All right, I'm going to do it. Okay, I got it. I know that you're under big non-disclosure. But a lot is happening on Coti, guys, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. This is a huge project with a big team that has delivered, is delivering, and I don't think the market's giving it its value. I think Shahaf probably agrees with me, and you guys make your own decision. Shahaf,
and
thank you.
Maybe one last thing. One last thing that I may give you is that once we win payments, then the question that should be asked is what else can be done with the robust infrastructure that we've built and with our experience, and just try to imagine what you can do with the DAG. A lot of things, maybe a layer 2 solution, maybe NFTs, maybe IoT, So that can be done with our infrastructure, and we are looking into that as well.
Okay, where are you leaning towards?
Immediately, we're leaning into layer 2 solutions because that is required. We see that we've developed a GOVI on Ethereum, and wow, this needs help. So immediately we're leaning into that, but we're not, we haven't set our minds completely.
Alrighty, Shahaf, let's leave it at that. Thank you, my friend. Nice to have you. That is our full review on Coti. Shahaf, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
I mean, he's really one of my favorite people in crypto. I've known the guy since the 2017 bull market. I actually was an advisor to Coti when they launched. And I love that project. I've watched that project grow. It's been absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Guys, we're going to leave it at that for today. So that is all we've got in store for you today. Tomorrow, we've got a huge show for you. We also got Crypto Bitlord. Now, if you don't know who Crypto Bitlord is, this should be a hell of a lot of fun tomorrow. He's going to make some altcoin calls. Yeah, you're going to love this guy. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. EST. And if you are going to watch Banter Brief, which is the 10-minute microdose, I'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Crypto Man Ran, signing out. See you again tomorrow.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.